and I'll wait to see that it's recording, and I do see it in the cloud in the left-hand corner. Great.
Hey.
So welcome, Cheryl DiGirolamo here, your New England Region President for RRC CRS. And I just wanted to take a quick second to say thank you so much to Kelly Catello and Nora Lynch, our education co-chairs, who have done a fabulous job. We did about probably 43 of these Mastermind Monday series. And I have to tell you that the reach that we've been able to incorporate with our members has gone from like 300 a year to 1,290 if you add up all the opportunities we've put out there. And if they don't join us on a regular Monday for that 30 minutes, they get to see it in replay in our Facebook group page. And now, thanks to the behind the scenes girl, Kate Lanigan McGregor and Christine McClellan, lives on our YouTube channel. So make sure I'll put that in the link in the chat box later. But Nora, please do introduce our guest. I'm so excited to hear from her.
I would like to introduce, but if you ladies, can someone be in charge of muting people because it's not muted upon entry, so I don't want to get disconnected. So if everybody can turn off their mute buttons, that would be great. And I'm hearing somebody, I think it's Allison, can we mute her? Okay, so everyone, I'm so happy to have Barb here. I met Barb at Lee Brown's Speaker Bootcamp a couple of years ago. And Barb, I know you don't want to do an intro, but I'm definitely going to do an intro. Barb is all the way from the West Coast in Southern California. She can tell you a little bit more about, so right by Orange, the tip of Orange County. And she's a successful realtor, broker, and CEO, educator, speaker, trainer with a passion for all things real estate. She's known as an influencer in the real estate industry and is consistently known for impacting everyone that she speaks to. She has a passion for her industry and is highly involved at a local, state, and national level. And she brings an honest, compassionate, and transparent approach. Her passion lies in sharing with others her best practices, successes, and some failures, but I don't think a lot, in selling real estate, running a brokerage, and figuring out how to keep it all balanced. In her spare time, you can find her traveling with her husband, visiting her daughter at the University of Kentucky, or on a baseball field somewhere supporting her son in his professional baseball career. So we're so excited to have you here, Barbara. And also you do teach CRS webinars and some classes. I'm really, been to some of them. And finally, I just was a recent attendee of Barb's boot camp for social media, and Instagram in particular. It was fabulous. So I think you're starting that up in January, right?
I am. Yes.
Okay, so excellent. So Barb, I can't wait to learn about Asana and Slack.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So nice to see a few familiar faces. Good morning, Gary. Did not know Mr. Rogers would be here today. Excited to see you. Thank you for the lovely intro, Nora, and the invitation. I'm happy to be here. A secret about me is my passion for teaching and educating. I do have a son that's old enough to play professional baseball, and most people get confused by that. I did have him very young, which is where I transition into, that's why I'm not a teacher. So I always joke with my son that he gave me this opportunity to sell real estate. We all know realtors make more than teachers typically, right? So sell real estate, run a brokerage, and then now I get to fulfill my true passion, which is teaching and educating through the real estate industry. So he likes, well, I thank him all the time, and then he likes to remind me a lot about, I should be very grateful for him. So anyways, that's why I'm here today. Nora asked me to come talk to you guys about two of my favorite platforms that really keep me organized and productive. So people ask me all the time, Barb, how are you so busy? You're so busy. You're so busy. You're everywhere. You're busy, busy, busy. And I hate the word busy, to be quite honest with you, because busy is not good. And I always turn it around to people and tell them I'm super productive, right? And there's a huge difference between being busy and being productive. And I'm going to show you today kind of how I hold it all together in being productive. I'm going to share my screen so we can get into I need to be allowed to share my screen. So if someone can do that, I'm going to talk to you about two of my favorite platforms and why they're so important to me. Thank you. They are how I keep it all together, right? We as realtors are very busy. I just used the word, there I go. We have a lot of things to do on our calendar, and we're constantly pulled in different directions, and it's impossible to remember everything that you're supposed to do, right? So right now is planning season. How many of you have already done your business plan for 2021? If not, you need to get on it. I actually am thinking about doing a webinar on that next week, because I've been asked by a lot of friends in the industry to do that. And planning is so important, right? And so I always question all realtors I speak to is, how do you keep track of your business plan? How do you keep track of your marketing plan? Is your business plan on your calendar? Is your marketing plan on your calendar? Or every day on your calendar, is it just your appointments? How many of you ever have a day during the week where there's nothing on your calendar? It's blank. It's just a Thursday and you have no appointments. So my challenge to you is, if that ever happens to you, or even if you have a Thursday where there's only, you're showing appointment for the day on your calendar, where's your business plan? Where's your lead generation? Where's your marketing? That should all be on your calendar. And if you manage your time correctly and stay organized, there should always be something on your calendar every single day. So I'm going to talk to you today about these two platforms and kind of how I interweave them into my task, or my quest to be productive and not busy. So the first one we're going to talk about is Asana. Now, let me clarify what Asana is. The two I'm going to talk to you about are Asana and Slack. Now, Asana, you guys, there's all different kinds of Asanas out there. There's Productive, there's Trello, there's Monday, there's ClickUp, there's Task, Todoist. There's so many different ones that you can use. I'm just telling you and showing you what works for me. And Asana has become the best for myself and my team. One thing you'll learn about me is I have shiny object syndrome badly, and I will try everything on the planet. My assistant, she gets like sweaty panic attacks when she comes in on a Monday morning and there's all these new registrations for trials of things. And she'll message me and say, no, please, no. And she's the one that keeps me dedicated to Asana, because frankly, we've tried them all and there's nothing better, especially if you work with someone else. Okay, so that's super important. All right, now I only have a little bit of time, so I cannot give you a full lesson on Asana, but I'm going to give you the highlights and just kind of show you how we manage everything. So let me get in and share my screen. Can you guys all see my screen? Yes? Okay. So I'm going into Asana right now. This is where I live on a daily basis. Okay. This is what it looks like when I log in. And I want you to think of Asana as task management, project management, transaction management. If you work with someone else, it's phenomenal for that. And I'll show you how we do that. And really just a brainstorm mind dump area, because I do a podcast, I do a lot of marketing, and I have all these ideas. How many of you have ideas all the time and you don't have anywhere to put them? You write them on these, which are death by sticky note. Who has death by sticky note problems? Now, I do have death by sticky note problems, but I will transfer them into Asana. You with me? So this is where I keep everything. Now, I am still a paper planner girl. And I am still a huge proponent of writing down your to-do list. But this is where I come find my to-do list every day. Because here's the deal. If I need to work on a project, and as Gary can see, look what's popping up right there, the NAR 2021 call for proposals, and that's to speak at NAR annual next year, hopefully in person. That's on my to-do list because it's something I need to start working on. It doesn't have a hard deadline yet. It will become a hard deadline, right? But that's my reminder that I need to get that on my to-do list and start working on it. Are you tracking with me? So eventually I'm going to take that off of Asana and write it in my planner as something I need to start working on, versus other things that may be deadline oriented and have to be done that day. And then I'm going to pull that and I'm going to put it on my calendar to remind me tomorrow at 10 a.m. to call someone or to follow up on something. So all of my tasks live in here. They all get pulled into this main area. You can see where some of them, I've got some deadlines that have passed, and it's because they're just not urgent and important right now. But what I love about Asana is they don't go away, okay? What I love right here is you can see review documents, review listing documents, doc review, and you see these little tags over here, 8th, Chaparral, Gundry, those are transactions. That's something that my assistant has tagged me in that I need to do as the broker. So when I open this up, when I open up review listing documents in here, Kara, my lovely assistant, has attached all the documents that I need to look at as the broker. I'm going to review these. And then down here, I'm going to put approved and I'm going to clear the task. She's going to get a notification that I reviewed the documents and the file is good to proceed. An example of how we use it in transaction management. Now, if I open up this project, you'll see in here that this is how my assistant keeps track of our entire transaction. Everything from the property info to all the listing tasks to all of the marketing tasks. You can see she's assigned some to our marketing assistant, all of her transaction tasks. Now, she can assign due dates in here, and she does. But as you know, every transaction's a little bit different, right? So some of these will be hard due dates and other ones she hasn't assigned yet because it's a brand new transaction. Now let me go into that transaction project and let me find one that has some dates that are already done, some deadlines that are here. And you can see right here, see how she's already assigned, verify that the docs are out. Did it fund? It's supposed to fund on Wednesday. It's supposed to record on Wednesday, right? After it records, once she clears the recording completion, all of these are going to auto-populate dates. Really, really cool, right? So you can do dependencies. You can say, after it's recorded, schedule this. After it's recorded, schedule this. And then she'll assign these tasks. Once she assigns these tasks, then they're going to pop up in my tasks. So she's responsible for those transaction tasks where, look at this one right here, review the preliminary title report in California. Not sure what you call them across the United States, but this is on our transaction on Sonoma. This means that the preliminary title report is in and I need to go in and review this. So there it is attached to the task. Some other examples of how we use this is in content creation. So right here, I show my marketing assistant, hey, here's some cute ideas that I've seen across the internet, right? Can you recreate it for me? Because I'm all about, you need to borrow, right? Not steal. And borrowing good ideas, my good friend Lee Brown, y'all know Lee Brown, she says, rip off and duplicate, right? R&D. No one came up with the idea themselves, but don't copyright it, right? So I have my assistant go in and she creates this was the original one that I liked. She created this. I didn't like this. And so I told her I'd rather it have a picture of a house or something behind it. This is how I communicate with my team. No texting, no emailing, right? We all get enough emails. And then here she recreated it. And this is actually a picture of one of our listings, right? So we started out with the idea. Then she did it. I didn't like it. I told her what I wanted and now she fixed it. And now I will go in and say approve, and then she'll schedule it as a post. So this is how we communicate on marketing. This is how we communicate on our transactions. This is how I just keep track of my own personal life. You'll scroll down here and you'll see set agents monthly coaching on Calendly. That's my own task. Pay Emma every end of the month. That's my amazing housekeeper that I love dearly. I can't forget to pay her, right? So at the end of every month, it pops up to remind me to pay Emma. Now my team can't see this. This is private to me, right? You can definitely set tasks that anyone can see. You can set tasks that are private to you. Okay, so you can just kind of get a gist for how we keep track of everything that goes on in our company. Here, follow-up's very important to me. So these are purchase anniversary calls to remind me every year to call my client and say, happy home anniversary. So you all know, if you don't know, I work very relationally, hyper relationally, and staying in touch with my past clients is how I do business. So you want to know how to remember to call someone on their home anniversary? Put a reminder in your calendar. But here's the deal. I don't want this to pop up on my calendar on February 13th, because what if February 13th is a Saturday and I don't want to call them on Saturday? Then Kara's going to put it for Friday or Monday. And then on Friday, I'm going to call and say, hey, tomorrow's your anniversary. And on Monday, I'm going to call and say, hey, did you know your anniversary was this past Saturday? No one's going to know if you don't do it on that day, right? But you won't remember if you don't put a reminder in your calendar. We even have how many of you get so frustrated by software renewing that you weren't prepared to renew? You didn't know you clicked auto renew. You don't want the software anymore, and you end up paying for another year and you didn't mean to. Well, here's how we prevent that. Look at this. This is when all of our software auto renews with a reminder. So Lead Pages auto renews on October 22nd. So on September 30th, 2021, I'm going to get a reminder. That gives me 3 weeks to decide, do I want to renew this? So I have plenty of time to go in and cancel it. Are you understanding the power of this? Okay, let me show you one more thing before we move on to, 2 more things before we move on to Slack. Projects for our parties and events and things like that. So I'm going to show you completed, right? So you can see the whole thing. So this is our Santa letter project. And every year when we do our Santa letters for our clients, all Kara has to come in here and do is go in here and go duplicate. And when she clicks duplicate, then she's going to type Santa letters 2021. Watch this. Santa letters 2021. Create new project, and watch the magic in this. It's going to take this entire project and it's going to duplicate it. And now it's going to build the project. So see how everything's going to start popping in here in a second. When my Wi-Fi decides to start working, everything's going to start popping in here so that we don't forget any step that we did last year. Parties and events, things that we do over and over again, right? There's a new step to the project. So she adds it in. So next year it's going to duplicate itself. And then she can go in and assign the due dates and the assignees. While that's populating, let me go into my brainstorming idea. So here's an example of how I brainstorm. Barb content ideas. Here's all my ideas. And then I move it to filmed, needs editing. If it's ready to schedule, do I want to make it an Instagram post, an IGTV, right? Here's all the ideas that I've been thinking about. You can do this for anything. You can do this for podcasts. You can do this for marketing. See, look at all these ideas. And I've already scheduled a few of them. All I do is come in here and put idea, good idea, whatever the heck it is. Put it in there. You can even go in and put some notes in there, right? Put some notes. I don't have to put a due date. I don't have to assign it to anybody. It's just an idea. So I have it in there as my idea. So as you're driving, as you're, laying in bed at night watching TV and you come up with a great idea for a marketing piece or an idea for a system, go into Asana, open up the project and put in your idea. All of this is mobile. All of this is extremely mobile friendly. And you can do a ton with it. So here, let me go back to the other thing that you can also do is you can search, right? You can search anything and you're going to find a very dynamic. So I don't know why it's taking so long to pop in, but it only populated one item, but eventually it's going to populate. It's still creating the actual whole board. You can also look at it as a list. You can look at things. Let me go back to this one. You can look at things as a board. You can look at things as a timeline, right? You can look at things as a calendar. So you can look at things in all different ways. And this is where when people are like, well, I like Trello. Well, here, you can make it look just like Trello. It's the exact same thing. It's just more dynamic. I see everyone go, oh, good, there's the Trello. Okay, I know that was a whirlwind, but I know we're short on time. So I'm going to switch over to Slack and I'll be happy to answer any questions, obviously, when we're done. Okay, can everyone see my Slack window? Yes, nod your head. Kelly?
No. So what we're seeing, Barb, is, now we're seeing you.
Here we go. Now can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, Slack, if you run a team, if you manage people, if you communicate with anyone, Slack has transformed our business. Slack has removed email and text messaging from my company. It makes me so happy because I lose emails. I forget about text messages. They get buried. I'm not looking at my text messages at that moment to follow up on something. My other passion is compliance. Okay. I'm a big compliance nerd over here, and I'm huge on, at least in the state of California, agents documenting their file. I'm sure in your states, you have to document your file, document conversations, document that you explained a document to someone before you sent it via DocuSign, right? That's a huge problem in our industry. So Slack was shown to me by Stacy, I'm going to forget her last name, in Virginia of Weston Main Homes. And she showed me how she manages 85 agents using Slack. And I was like, whoa, this will save my world. So how does Slack work? Slack works with having different channels, okay? So all these little number signs and lock signs are different channels. Let's start with general. General is how I keep my culture of my company. General is how we share life, or we share funny things, or we share, oh my God moments, right? What I love about it is a message goes out to everyone, and then people can reply and have a conversation. So right here, you can see I'm congratulating one of my agents on opening another escrow, and everyone's responding with fun emojis. You can see here, one of my agents is just explaining that at our retreat, you know, she wasn't going to let her baby be passed around because of COVID. Happy Thanksgiving, pictures from our event, just messages of love and support. Good news that conforming loan limits went up. I told them all. I didn't have to text them. I didn't have to email them, right? We have all these channels. It's where we store our agent marketing. So our agents can go in and pull marketing for properties. They have the caption built out, the hashtags are built out. Small Business Saturday, you can see all the Santa letter ones. So they can go in and pull down the content for their own social media. We've got COVID-19, all the updates from COVID-19 that happened, right? There's a lot. So I have to constantly update them on the state of California and our new rules. News articles. Today I shared with them this great one from Housing Wire that CoreLogic projects low rates into 2023 and high prices. So I want them to have that article because I thought it was a good one they can share. Open houses we're not using right now because we can't do them in the state of California. Social media ideas. This is where I go back and forth. If they see a funny social media idea, they can put it in here. Our team meetings. This is where our agenda goes, the links, everything we do on Zoom for our meetings. This is where training goes. If I have something that people are asking me over and over and over again, I go put the answer in here so everyone can see it. Transaction issues, upcoming listings, and then of course, everyone needs a roofer, a plumber, electrician, mover, restoration company, right? But let me show you the magic of compliance. The magic of compliance in Slack is that we create a channel for each transaction. And in here is where I'm able to converse back and forth with my transaction coordinator about everything she's doing on the file. And when I have a conversation with a client, I will go in and I will say, spoke to client, go ahead and send the document, right? I spoke to the seller, reviewed the contract, send for signature. I'm doing two things here. I am documenting my file that I had the conversation, and I'm giving an instruction to Kara to send the contract. No text message, no email, no missed messages, everything in one thread. But here's the beauty of it if you are a broker, manager, or a team leader. These are just my transactions, but she's doing this for my entire company. If one of my agents, God forbid, ends up in the hospital tonight and I have to take over, guess what? Kara just has to add me to Nora's transaction thread, and I can read the entire history, know exactly what's going on in the transaction, and not have to call the agent who's laying in the hospital. Do you see the power of that as a broker and manager? More importantly, if you pay for Slack, which I highly recommend you do if you use it, these messages are logged on their server forever. So if, God forbid, we get sued on a transaction 3 years from now, I have every conversation that agent had in that transaction, even if they've left my company. Think about how powerful that is. I own these messages. It's something I provide. And then down here, we can have direct message conversations with anybody. So my team knows if you have a problem in a transaction or you have a question, you have to message me in Slack. I will not respond to their text messages. If they text me a problem, like just did the final walkthrough, the light doesn't work, should I have it checked? I'm not going to respond to their text. I'm going to go in Slack. I'm going to copy and paste their message in Slack, and I'm going to respond to them in Slack. And look right here. we're having a conversation yesterday about how she fills out a form correctly. I was able to screenshot it, put it right in here, and tell her exactly how to do it. So me as a broker, if the Department of Real Estate ever says, are you supervising your agents? Are you making sure they know what they're doing? Can't I prove that I absolutely am? 1000%. Here's an example of a message today. I don't even know what it says. Oh, she's just showing me my Christmas card to see if I like it. And my other assistant is giving me a link to something that I asked her to do. So I can have direct conversations. I also can create groups. I can have a conversation with just a group of people. You can add in Google Drive. You can link it to Asana. You can link it to so many different apps. If you go into add apps, you guys are gonna be blown away at the amount of apps you can add into here. You can connect it to just about anything. And again, the other thing is like I showed you in Asana, I can just go up here and search for Skittles. Okay, I know that sounds random, but I know Skittles are in here. And look at every single thread that has had the word Skittles in it pops up. So you remember something that happened and you're like, oh my God, I think there was a problem with a garage. Anything with the word garage is going to come up, like anything, attached garage, marketing, whatever you want. And it'll even show you who the conversations were with or what. Look at all of these have the word garage in them. Just a fun example.
Wow. Barb, this is pretty powerful stuff that you're putting out there. This is amazing. And we're so lucky to have you here in the New England region. We are hitting at 12:26. Yep. And with your knowledge, you could probably go for the next hour.
I could. And I saw all the questions coming in and I can answer a few of them if you'd like, or I'd be happy to just answer them.
I have a couple of them that we've kind of picked out. If you have a few extra minutes, you can hang on. That would be fantastic. But does everybody need to have the same version of either one of these programs? Because there's a couple of versions of Asana. Do they have to all have the same version in order to communicate with you?
Meaning the same level of membership with Asana? Yes. Well, no, you can invite people to projects in Asana. They don't even have to be members. But if your entire company's using it or your team's using it, then yes, I would be on the same level. We have the middle one, the business plan.
Okay, so you have it as the broker owner, and then you just invite them all in, and that kind of takes care of that. Fantastic.
Hey, Barb, I just have to say, if you want Skittles, I'll get you covered.
You like Skittles, Gary?
Sylvia from Marblehead, we're about to take you around the New England region because we're 6 states.
I love it.
She wants to know, can you assign to clients and high tasks that are not client facing? So can the client see any of this?
If you want to.
Okay.
The reason I don't do that is it overwhelms clients. They don't need to know everything. Some people I do know have Slack, and they'll have Slack they'll have, Chaparral, Avenue, internal and Chaparral Avenue external, and they invite the client to the external and they update their client through that one. Only reason Barb doesn't do that is I know I'm going to make a mistake at some point and I'm going to put the wrong thing in the wrong one. And I'm going to blow oh my God, I can't believe the appraisal didn't come in at value before I've even called the client. And they're going to get a notification and I'm going to lose my Kool-Aid. So that's why I don't do it.
Right.
But I know some people that do.
So here's another great question. This is the beginning of your tech stack. What CRM are you tying into it? Or is that it?
Great question. I don't tie any CRM into these because I'm not using this as a client management system. These are all internal systems for our customer service and our own operating system internally.
Okay. So I think this person wants to know what CRM you're using. I feel like it's an overused
That's
question.
a very loaded question.
Yes.
I was using Salesforce, which I built myself for my own platform. I'm in the middle of developing a CRM with a partner. And so I did not renew my Salesforce because I didn't want to pay for a whole year because it's thousands of dollars. So currently I'm using Referral Maker by Buffini and Company as a Band-Aid until my new CRM comes out, which I am working on very intentionally to get done because I wanted to create one that does what I freaking wanted to do. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, we're looking forward to find out what that is.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. So stay tuned.
Exactly. Is there limited access, example, individual client files, only admin access, not the entire company? So I'm sure that there's different access levels in that, right?
For what?
So like you can see everything, but maybe only Cheryl can see her stuff. And
yeah, so on Slack, for sure. My agents can only see channels that they're assigned to. I can see anything, including their direct messages. And some of you that may be uncomfortable, but for us, it's, you know, if they're saying anything in the direct messages that I shouldn't be seeing, then they shouldn't be part of my company.
Okay. And then Gary Rogers has a great question. He wants to know, would this work with communication between you and a client to document it?
Yeah, I said that earlier. It absolutely would. And so if you had to, and it's kind of something that I almost want to buy a separate Slack for, because here's the other thing. What I didn't show you is you can belong to multiple organizations in Slack. So for instance, the California Association of Realtors uses Slack. And oh, by the way, the National Association of Realtors uses Slack. So let's say I'm a committee chair and my staff person at NAR wants to communicate with me on Slack. I can add in another organization. So I'm tempted to create one for my client-facing conversations, because my tech-savvy clients would love this. They would love to just get a notification on their phone that says, hey, you know, appraisal's in at value, you know, or got the termite rescheduled for tomorrow at 3:30. Does that work for you? Like, they would love one place to go look for all the information.
Excellent. And then Sarah Harrington has a great question. It's probably going to be the last question we take, because we are at 12:31 and we love to keep to our 30 minutes here on Mastermind Monday. But how did you and your team learn and implement these two platforms? Like, was there a big learning curve or? No,
even my non-tech savvy agents can figure it out. So what we do is, as a new agent gets onboarded, or anytime we implement a new software, let's just say, you know, Gary joins our company, Gary's going to bring his phone into Kara. And Kara's going to go into his phone, set up Slack for him, make sure all his notifications are on correctly, because that's the key. The notifications have to be on. But what I love about it is in the mobile version, right? Right now, I've got some Slack notifications in here. They're building up into one, you know, when they layer on top of each other. So if I'm on an appointment right now, that's not urgent. I can wait till I'm done with my appointment, or middle of the day or end of the day, and open up all my Slack notifications and get caught up, if that makes sense. And the reason I created it was I was constantly messaging my assistant at 7 o'clock at night going, did you get this done today? Did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this? Now I don't have to do that anymore, because I go in Slack and I know exactly what she did and I don't have to bother her.
I love this. I love this so much. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're very welcome, you guys.
Any of our members, if you want to learn more about Barbara Betts and take more of her courses, she does do webinars for CRS. She also has a great social media. You can find her at Barbara Betts, Betts Realty Group in Long Beach, California. And Cheryl, with that, we have concluded 2020 of Mastermind Mondays, and it's back to you.
Oh my gosh, I'm blown away, and I could listen for another week. So I'm definitely getting Slack, so I might be calling you. Lisa, if you could just wrap us up. We have an event coming up. One is Marky Lemons, which Kelly and Nora have arranged, 2-day, 7 things that successful agents do differently. And Lisa, can you talk about the installation really quickly?
Sure, yeah. The Marky Lemons event is actually this week, which is fabulous, as well as sort of a conflicting kind of sessions for the RRC leadership training. If anyone's interested in learning more about that, let us know. But our big event and next week's Mastermind Monday will be the 2021 installation and get together. It will be from 12 to 1:30. And speaking of Lee Brown's our inspirational speaker, so that's sure to be full of lots of fun and laughs and inspiration. So we'd love to see you all. There's if you don't have an invitation, please reach out to any of us in the leadership team. Happy to send one to you. Of course, it's free registration. We are asking folks to register, but that will be at 12 o'clock next Monday. Love to see you all there. It's just nice to be able to gather virtually and have our Zoom installation, which is happening. Thanks again. And Kelly and Nora, just amazing job once again. 43, it's stunning to look back and think about what you guys accomplished and what we have to look forward to in the future. But, there were those weeks, months ago where this was one thing that people really, I don't want to get choked up, but seriously, the people got to hold on to come together and see our faces that was consistent every week. And you were some of the very first that were able to offer that consistency. And Cheryl, it was your brainchild. So thank you so very much for this gift as well. It truly has been a gift and continues to live on in our YouTube channel.
Thank you so much. the entire leadership team and all of you that attend and spread the word. We need each other, right? So have the happy holidays if I don't see you next Monday. And thank you again for tuning in. And again, go to our YouTube channel. I did put it in the chat how you can search and find it and then save it and revisit as often as you like. Take care.
Thanks.
Thank you all. Have a nice holiday.
holidays.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
See you next week, I hope.